Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with part 2 of my 300 subscriber special. And part 2 is another review, and 2 review rhymes. Anyway, this is Kirby's Epic Yarn for the Nintendo Wii. This game pleasantly surprised me, and I don't even know where to begin with this game. It's not a traditional Kirby game, by any means. Not that any of the Kirby games really are traditional. I mean, the only ones that are similar are the ones that have been remade over and over again. Kirby's Adventure and then Kirby Superstar are kind of similar, but... and then you've got Kirby Superstar Ultra, which is just a remake. And then you've got weird ones like Kirby's Canvas Curse, which is just... it's out there. And this one is another one of those out there games. And it shows. It's a 2D platformer, much like the old school ones. 2-player co-op simultaneously, following in the Mario Brothers footsteps with that one. Not quite up to 4 players, but 2 players simultaneous. Player 1 takes the role of Kirby, and Player 2 takes the role of Prince Fluff. Now, from my understanding, this game was actually going to be about Prince Fluff from the beginning. They made it a Kirby game to make it sell a little better. And either way, I think it would have been a good game. I think it's an interesting platformer. The 2-player co-op makes it a little bit better of a game, because, you know, games need co-op, especially platformers. It's been shown with New Super Mario Brothers that having multiple players on a 2D platform like this is fun. It's rewarding. It can be frustrating at times, but hey, it's innovative. And it's not a huge innovation, but it's not all innovations have to be huge to be enjoyable. And this is definitely one of those. Kirby follows in the same vein as that, and I'm hoping that Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is going to be very similar to this, just Donkey Kong-esque, is going to be as much fun. This game, you don't get the Kirby arsenal of being able to inhale your opponents and gain their power. This one you only get the ability to catch them with your yarn whip and roll them into a ball to use as a projectile weapon, or if you just hit them with the whip, it can unravel them. So those are your only 2 real attacks. You have the ability to turn into basically stone made out of yarn and fall down on people, but if they're bad guys that are carrying weapons, you still take damage. So the Waddle Dees with spears, the spear will still hurt you even as the block, basically, since you're not really stone. This game has a very unique mechanic. You can't really die. It's just not possible. You can make it through the level completely and there's no way to die. There's no live system. There's no continue system. It's very similar to Mario in if you're playing co-op and one person falls in an area off screen that would quote-unquote kill them, they get brought back by a little yarn angel that brings them to your position, kind of like the bubble in Mario. In this case, if it's something that would actually kill them, you lose beads, and that's the game's primary mechanic, is beads. Everything shiny, sparkly, you want to collect it. So, I mean, people who have OCD about shiny, sparkly things, just go out and buy this game now, because it'll be like crack for you people. You've got to collect everything sparkly, and the top of the screen has this little... I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a necklace or bracelet or something, but it's where all of your beads go. And once you get so many beads, you get a little medal. And it starts off with a bronze medal, and then it goes to silver and gold. And the goal is to beat every level with a gold medal. And any damage you take knocks beads off of your little meter. Now you can get most of them back, because when you get hit, the beads fall out of you, and you can recollect most of them. You'll still lose a couple, and it kills your streak. And then that's one of the things at the end of the level, is the more beads you have in a streak without taking damage, the higher your score is going to be at the end of the level. Another thing about it, it's all collecting. That's all this game is. You want to collect beads to get a high score, and then you want to collect... There's 3 treasures in each world that become furniture that you use to decorate your house later, which I'll get into that in a few minutes. And then one of them is typically a music CD that changes the music for the level, or gives you the option to change the music for the level. And it's basically just CD collecting, kind of like in Smash Brothers. So you want to get these 3 treasures, and then there's 3 little icons located throughout the level that affect the wheel at the end of the level that will multiply your score. So you've got a 2-star, a 3-star, and I think a 5-star are the only ones that are available. And then when you get all those, the wheel at the end of the level should be filled, and it's like a roulette wheel. You hit it, once it stops spinning, whatever you land on, it adds to your score. So you can, in theory, go from a bronze to a gold if you get the 5 and you have enough beads. Like you had enough bead streak, you've just lost some. So I mean, there's really no way to fail at this game. At least even after you get a little bit of practice, you can go through and just walk through the game pretty easily. It's the getting the perfect is what you're going to have to strive for, and that will take a little bit more time depending on if, you know, a bad guy gets lucky and hits you. But then there's little mini games. So starting off, you get an apartment because you're a visitor here in Yarn World, and then your landlord asks you to decorate other apartments that he's building, and then they get other tenants, and then those tenants give you mini games. So far, the 2 that I've unlocked are a hide and seek mini game and a collect as many gems as possible with an X time frame mini game. And those are fun, and they get more challenging the more you do them, and you get more rewards. And then you'll get to help build more apartments, and it's this huge thing. And then you can buy furniture and wallpaper and cloth and other sorts of accessories to furnish these apartments to make Yarn World better. All the while saving Yarn World, because the plot of the game is there is a sorcerer who is turning people in Dreamland into yarn, and Kirby got involved in it because he thought it's now a metamato instead of a maxim tomato. He tries to eat a metamato, and it turns out to be not a metamato. It's made out of yarn, and it's the sorcerer's. I guess it has something to do with his power. I forget I'm blanking on the word that I'm trying to use on it. And you get sucked into Yarn World, where Prince Fluff needs your help restoring order to Yarn World, and you find out that Yarn World has been broken into pieces, and you need magic yarn to stitch together the pieces of Yarn World. And that's what you do. Once you beat an entire sequence in the level and beat that level, or that area's boss, it unleashes his magic yarn, which ties together another section of Yarn World, which progresses to the next set of levels. Kind of like worlds in Mario World. The first world is obviously the starting world. The second world in Kirby is a fire-based world, and lava and all that unpleasantness. So it does have a very unique system from progressing from world to world, and then you can go back to worlds from the look of it to unlock new areas. So there's lots of unlockable stuff, lots of optional stuff, lots of side stuff to do. So even if you don't want to play the main game, you don't feel like playing the main game, you just play a couple of rounds of hide and seek. It's interesting. Go for it. And some of the games are more entertaining with 2 people. Some of them are just better off with a single player. So you really have a lot of option for this, and that's what makes the game entertaining. Is it's very simplistic in its control scheme and the way the game works. It's very simplistic, but yet it's still very rewarding. It makes you feel like, oh, once you master the basics, which that's all there are, the basics, once you master them, you can go through levels, get great scores, go back again, beat your top score, and then just keep moving on and getting great scores. And that's the point of the game, is basically just score. But not like Sin and Punishment, where it's constantly asking if you want to upload your score to the Nintendo leaderboards. This one is just fun for you, and that's really kind of what I'm missing in a lot of games, is just the fun aspect for you. I just want to have fun, dick around for a little bit, play a game. And that's one thing Kirby has always done. The older games did it with mini-games. Kirby Superstar, and Superstar Ultra was just really a collection of minigames. You had Dynablade, the Great Cave Offensive, Revenge of Meta Knight, things like that, that you could beat in like 15 minutes. I mean, they weren't long, they weren't complicated. Like, the Great Cave Offensive is the best one that comes to mind, is going back and getting all of those treasures and collecting everything and saying that I completed this 100%. That's what this game goes back to. And then it still has the mini-games, like Superstar Head, Megaton Punch, and Samurai Kirby. So, I mean, you had little things you could do. I just want to dick around for a few minutes. I don't want to get too into it. It has those as well. And this game really... To say it's a Kirby game is kind of weird, considering it's not the Kirby that you expect, which is really weird. Because when I play a Kirby game, I expect, oh, I want to eat Sir Kibble and get Cutter, and then I bring out a companion, and he gets to play Sir Kibble, and then I can eat Plasma or Will-o'-the-Wisp and get Plasma ability, and then we go through and just start mixing and matching who gets what power. This one, no powers, but no death system, so it's still just like the older games where if you were the partner, you could die as many times as you want. Kirby just has to eat another bad guy to bring you back. Kirby, however, if he died, you lost a life, but there were more than enough one-ups in that game, and it wasn't really a difficult game to begin with, to where there's really no reason to lose that many lives, and if you do, it's not like you can't recover them easily. This one just removes that aspect altogether. It just... You can still beat the level with 0 beads, but you're going to want to go back and get the better medals, because it's kind of an anal retentive thing. Once you look at it and see, oh, well, I only got a silver medal on this one, but I got gold on all the others, you've really got to go back and get that one. There's this weird possessive driving force that makes you want to get gold. And that's really it. There's really not too much else to this game. It's simplistic, but very rewarding and very entertaining. And I can't stop playing it. And it's what saddens me about it is that it is only 2 players. I kind of want to get 2 other people together and play it 4-player like Mario, but there's only 2 people available, which is the only downside to it. But it is also a good thing, because it does follow the Mario Brothers physics. No 2 people can be occupying the exact same space at the same time. So it does make some of the precision platforming jumps and sections like that kind of a pain if your partner is not as good at platforming games as you, or if you're not as good at platforming games as your partner. You will get a little frustrated at the quote-unquote deaths and the loss of sparklies at that point. So that's really the only downside of the game, is that it follows the same physics as Mario if no 2 people can be in the same place at the same time, which just kind of makes sense. So, but it does also reward a lot of the co-op stuff. If you're playing with 2 people and you transform into a giant robot, the 2 players are supposed to intertwine, and that's amazing, because that gives both people something to do instead of just one person playing and the other person idly sitting by. So I'm a huge fan of Kirby. If you own a Wii, do yourself a favor, go pick up this game. It's amazing. And that's really it. So yeah, that's been my review on Kirby's Epic Yarn. So I will see you all in future installments and future projects. Till then, later everyone.
You